Lawwin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawwin Media Network.
Good morning, Philippines. Good morning, Houston, Texas. Good morning, USA. Magandang umaga sa lahat at magandang gabi sa Pilipinas. Teacher Cora, can we hear you?
Yeah, magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Magandang umaga, America. At magandang gabi sa Pilipinas. I am always confused with the time. Oh, Lord, maybe because of, age or whatever, but good evening, United States. And, yun na naman ako. Good evening, Filipinas, and good morning, United States. We are all here to present to you and welcome you to our third episode of Live Chikahan with Ma'am Cora
and Dr. Nildz.
There you go. So today's episode, guys, we are working on education, technology, and innovation. We have a very, very distinguished guest today, and we are going to introduce them to you in a minute. But before we do that, let's have our WhatsApp. What did you all do? What did you do, Dr. Neil, throughout the week?
How
was your July 4th?
Okay, thank you for asking, Ma'am Cora. Well, it was really awesome. Maybe Krisha can show some of the photos. There you are. Well, when I came to the W. Bush Museum down here in Plano, there was a free entrance, so we didn't pay. That's a blessing. So we went all together, and it's a huge one, and it's good. So take note of that. Every 4th of July, the entrance is free for everyone. And then afterwards, by the way, I have with me one of our guests before, Dr. Alma Cohen. She visited me, a very dear friend of mine. So I tried to, we tried to explore Dallas and the downtown. If you will see, we have the downtown picture there. I think this is the new one. It's called Clyde Park. So, and then after that, we went to the Stockyard Forecourt, where we check out, some of the museum, and of course talks about the initial historical views about, or I will say history about the Texas, especially the Stockyard Forecourt. Thank you so much. And how about you?
Oh, wow. You know what? I have been very, very busy entertaining and supporting our new batch of cultural exchange teachers. They're called J1. So right after 17 hours of flight, they just rested probably 6-7 hours, and then I let them move and travel around the city of Houston. We went bowling at the Social Palace, and then after that we went to San Antonio. That was July the 4th, and you will see from the picture, you will see the Mission San Antonio de Valero, where they had their picture. They also visited the Alamo, the famous Alamo here in Texas. And you will see there on that July the 4th, they have this event there that you need to sign the Declaration of Independence. That's where I am. And then we move on traveling the area and taking pictures. I want them to see how it is in Texas and then get a little information about our history. So I really had fun, though busy, but it was worth it.
Awesome. As a teacher, we always wanted to show everyone what is Texas all about, the history. I think that's very good because for them to understand why Texas is Texas, right? That's the very
Yes.
first. They need to acclimate themselves. What are the history? What makes up the geography? People, the leadership, and all of that. And that's good. Thank you, Ma'am
And that's
Cora.
that's basically the reason why they're here. They are cultural exchange teachers. So, uh, knowing tidbits of information about Texas alone will help their program and encourage them to be at ease and one with us here. Okay.
Awesome. Maybe
So,
next time bring them here in Dallas. I'm sorry to
I
interrupt you
will.
there.
I
I can
will.
host them. Okay.
I will.
That's an open invitation. Just let me know in advance. Thank you.
You have a lot of J1 teachers there in Dallas. I
Oh,
believe there were about 50 J1
okay.
teachers there. So
Okay. You need to connect me with them so we can
I
have a
will
chat. Okay.
definitely. Okay.
Awesome.
So today's program, we have the title Teacher, Meet Megan, Artificial Intelligence. Handa ka na ba? So it will focus on introducing our educators and how far they have been engaged in the use of artificial intelligence today. And I did a little research and I have this information. I got a data from the Carnegie Research Center. You will see here how the percentage and the distribution of teachers' involvement in the use of data. And you will notice the 9% always uses artificial intelligence. Now, looking at the future, this is quite, alarming because we need to step up in the fast changing system in education. And with this, 34% often, well, quite a good number, but then that is not what we're trying to hit. By next school year, we wanted to get this higher. By the way, this is a data for 2025, okay? 14% rarely, and 36% sometimes. Now, to look at this, mostly administrators are the one using or applying AI in their work. That said, we have invited distinguished guests who are very, very, very knowledgeable in terms of artificial intelligence. We are going to share them with you, listen to them, and learn so that next school year we will be able to step in and prepared for the use of artificial intelligence in our field. Okay, so let's start our first guest, Dr. Neil.
Oh, Ma'am Cora, before we go and introduce our guests, I think we need to check also our objectives. So in that way,
Okay, no, I'm
our
sorry about that.
viewers,
Yes, you're
yes,
right.
will
Go
find
ahead.
out, what we're doing. You want to go ahead and say
Yes.
the first one?
Okay, so we are going to learn about what is artificial intelligence and in a simple way, how is this relatable in terms of our profession? So they're going to talk about that today.
And number two is we want to introduce the various type of AI with real world examples. That's why we will explore the differences between the types of AI, and our distinguished guests are very, I will say, knowledgeable on this one. So at least everybody will have a clearer ideas on how to apply them.
Exactly. And also, we want to highlight the use of artificial intelligence in research and innovation. You know, being a teacher, we don't only stop in our classroom and teach our curriculum. No, we need to move on and progress our professional skills. So we want to engage in research and innovation. That is how our guest will explain today.
Additionally, we will clarify the distinction between AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So, whatever concept is related to this, our guest again will try to explain how they are connected and differ in functions and purpose. The next one.
Also, yeah, that's right. Also, since AI is here and it is fast transforming our teaching and learning environment, we are going to talk about, our guests will talk about how they could engage our teachers in the possibilities of using AI in their teaching, such as personalizing learning among their students and automation, as well as support. What are the resources that we need and where are we going to get it in order to apply to our classroom instructions?
Which
We are
is
going
also,
also to encourage, go ahead.
I am
Sorry.
sorry. I'm sorry, Ma'am Cora. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so we are going to encourage also everyone to have a reflective and practical thinking about what you're going to learn today about artificial intelligence and its role in education. So we want you to learn from this. Let us use our time to listen to our expert today. Guys, they're all our own teachers, Filipinos, expert in artificial intelligence. Go ahead, Dr. Neil.
I think we have already stated all our objectives, and I think this is something
Ma'am.
that our viewers will really learn a lot. This is an informative one. I think all our episode is something that they can bring something. The teacher, especially, all this information they can bring it back to their workplace or into the classroom. So moving forward, I'm excited. Let's now introduce our guests, our distinguished guests. And of course, our guest normally comes not only in the United States, but all over the world, and often also is from the Philippines. So let's start our introduction of the guest. So our guest is a former student of mine, which I'm so proud of her, who has successfully completed both her bachelor's and master's degree at the University of Utah. And she is an enterprise product manager, an agile coach with over a decade of experience supporting the development teams and IT operations, which is very, very, suitable for our discussion. She specializes in aligning enterprise systems like Jira and Confluent with real world business processes to enhance transparency and drive value delivery. Outside of her professional role, our guest enjoys building websites and mentoring women who are breaking into a technology industry. As a proud Filipino American, just like I shared to you earlier, one of the best students in my class, she brings the grounded, faith based perspective to every conversation, like blending technology, strategy, and purpose. Now, everyone, let's give a warm welcome to our guest, not other than Lizadel Yari Santos Guerra. Hi.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So excited to be here and so grateful to have this wonderful conversation with you, wonderful ladies.
Thank you,
Thank
Yari.
you. Thank you, Miss Dell. Okay, our next guest. Our next guest is a high school math teacher at La Vista High School in Fullerton, California. Dr. Al Rabanera spends 2 decades supporting learners through culturally responsive teaching, social emotional learning, and inclusive academic practices. He is a proud son of immigrant. Dr. Vanella centers identity, agency, and belonging in his classroom, helping students to see themselves as capable of learning and doing by themselves. Beyond classroom, Dr. Rabanera is recognized, nationally recognized education and policy advocates, serves as the board of California Teachers Association's Institute for Teachers, North Orange County United Teachers Teach Plus National Policy Advisory Board, and the Council for Accreditation of Educators Preparation. He received the National Education Agency Horace Mann Award for Teaching Excellence. Wow. He was named also as a Global Learning Fellow, Distinguished Alumni of the Year in his own university, Fullerton College of Education. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Al Rabanera. Good morning, good evening,
Good
Dr.
morning, Dr.
Rabanera.
Al.
Oh, good morning and good afternoon and good evening to all of the viewers. I'm very happy to be here to share about my experiences and be in community with our panel today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's go to our next guest. Our next guest is an inspiring academic leader, a dedicated mentor, and a passionate advocate for technology driven education. Dr. Marilyn F. Rosas is a distinguished IT, information technology professional and educator with over 20 years of experience in higher education, research, and digital innovation. She is currently a full professor 6 at De La Salle University, Das Marinas, where she also served as a department chair, director of the graduate studies, and computer laboratory supervisor. That's a huge one and very impressive. So Dr. Rosas holds a doctorate in information technology and is certified by both IBM and Microsoft, also serving as a Microsoft Education Ambassador. She has also trained educators and students nationwide in programming, analytics, and digital tools. Since 2019, she served as an editor in chief of the Journal of Engineering, Computing, and Technology, and she continues to volunteer for DLSU, which is De La Salle University, Das Marinas, Balik Aral, and Nightclub programs to support underserved learners. Her scholarly work has earned multiple Paper and Best Presentation awards in international conferences across the Asia, and she has presented in the United States. She is also the author of Living in the IT Era. Most recently, Rosas represented the Philippines in the 2025 Professional Development Joint BM program and under UMAC and JIGE, alongside educators from Canada, Colombia, Japan, Malaysia, and Thailand. She has been recognized as the world scientist by the AD Scientific Index of 2022 and 2025, and she is also the recipient of the multiple honors, including the Virtus of Excellencia, Gawad Tala, and Pinakamahusay na Mananaliksik Award, which is the Best Researcher Award. Rooted in her mission to teach with compassion and lead with purpose, let us warmly welcome our esteemed guest, Dr. Marilyn F. Rosas. Welcome, Dr. Rosas.
Good evening po. Thank you, Dr. Nildz and Ma'am Cora, and thank you to all our guests, my co-panels, and as well as good evening, good afternoon, and good morning po sa lahat na nanonood sa ating live, sa lahat ng bahagi ng mundo. Good evening po.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rosas. Before we start our question, but I'm going to give the questions already. We will pause for a break and then we'll come back. Our first question today is, can you all explain, Dr. Rosas, explain what is artificial intelligence and how does it work? Okay, so that our viewers could understand clearly coming from you, as our expert today. So we will pause for a while, guys. We will be back after a short break. See
And
you
by the
guys.
way, we would like to thank to
There.
our sponsor, the Kapihan. Okay, this is our sponsor, and of course, the Salad Master Dulce. Thank you so much. Let's pause for a break, everyone. Thank you.
Okay.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Hello, hello, everyone. We're back.
Okay, Dr. Neil.
Yes, let's call on Dr. Rosas. Dr. Rosas, I know we paused for a while, and then the question is, what is artificial intelligence and how does it work? So we'll give you the floor, Dr. Rosas.
Thank you po, Dr. Neil. So, artificial intelligence is like a super smart computer that can think and learn like humans. So, just like how we could teach a child new things, we could also teach AI on learning new things. No, so just imagine it's like a very smart personal assistant. So you can tell this assistant to do anything or things that you like him to do or her to do. Okay, so you could also give names to this AI. No, so this AI could recognize pictures of your family and friends. As you could notice in your phones, diba? They could group those pictures according to the faces, and then according to places, also according to the background or the nature. So that is one application of an AI. And also in our everyday life, no, we could also have these experience AI, wherein they understand what we say. So they could respond accordingly, just like whenever we ask Siri, Siri on our phone, di ba? Or Alexa, turn on this one and this one, turn off the lights, mga ganon, no? So also they could be your um, uh, play I think they could be your friend, no, you could play games with them, sorry. So before you could not play with computer, but nowadays we could play with computer because of that AI, no. Even yung mga vehicles that could be driven by AI. So just imagine they learn from what we program to them, no. So that is basically what AI. So it is a computer system that can do all the things or all these things and even more, no, on its own without us being there, supervising them, no. So AI has the ability to mimic human intelligence to perform these tasks like the problem solving task, decision making tasks, and understanding languages. They could translate languages also, and recognize different patterns. So how do they work? Actually, they have to learn, they need to practice, and they needs improvement, no. So initially we teach them, no, we train the AI system by simply giving them a lot of examples, a lot of data, a lot of pictures, a lot of numbers, a lot of text, and the more data that we feed in, quality data that we feed in, no, the better that they understand the pattern and the relationship between those data. And then after they learn from that, no, uh, they need to be practiced. So training and then testing. So AI practices or AI systems practice what it has learned, no. Though, just like us, people know we tend to make mistakes at first. However, whenever we give them feedback, they could adjust, they could learn from it, and they could improve every time they try it. No, so that's how machine learning comes in. And then, of course, it is a continuous process. So over time, AI systems get better and better as they are doing this task, no? So sabi nga nila, di ba po, practice makes perfect. So the more they practice this task, the more they will be more efficient. They may be more accurate based on the data that they have received. So AI works by using large volumes of data, applying algorithms. There are a lot of algorithms that we could make use in machine learning, in AI or artificial intelligence, and it is a continuous improving through feedback. So people, users, no, should give feedback, and it's like training a system to learn based on the experience. So in short, AI is like a smart helper or a smart personal assistant that can learn, that can also think and act like humans. So without making that makes our lives more easier and more convenient.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's a lot. I think I want to have an AI assistant also. Now, actually, this one here in the United States, I have my neighbor just bought a Tesla. Guess what? It's can drive by itself. And I was amazed, how
Yes,
Tesla have revolutionized all of this, technology, not only in the computer, but also, transportation, not only transportation, a lot of other things that we are doing here in the United States too. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Rosas. And, other than
I,
that,
I
of
want
course,
to
we can
Yeah,
ask
I want to ask Dr.
Cora.
Rosas and back on what you have said because there's a lot of information that you covered in your statement today. I want to ask. So when you say it is a computer, it's a machine that works, right? So
yes,
it could be a friend, it could give you data, and it could be your assistant. So you're trying. What I'm trying to see here is that the machine itself, the intelligence is being helped and supplied by humans. Is that correct? Am I right in
exactly.
understanding that?
Yes, po.
So there is a collaboration between human and the machine, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes,
that
po.
said, I want to ask Dr. Al. Dr. Al, there are so many things that Dr. Ross has mentioned about artificial intelligence. Would you be able to explain to us what are the different types, models of artificial intelligence? Because what I see is a large language model that is put in a box. So could you uh, explain to us what are the different examples of artificial intelligence?
Yeah, thank you. That's a really big question. And I know it's something that we really need to explore. And when I think about AI, I think about it in two different ways:
Mm-hmm.
learning about AI and learning with AI. So I think that question really points to learning about AI and understanding the different types of AI is key to navigate our rapidly evolving landscapes because it's always changing. It's changing so fast with all of the information. And I like to explain it across 5 dimensions, right? How AI learns, its level of intelligence, how it functions, what it's built to do, and then also the technology that powers it. Like Dr. Rosas was saying, the different learning types, right? So when you're typing into AI, that's called the input layer. And then when it's doing the behind the scenes work, that's called the hidden layer. And that's where AI is analyzing these responses, right? And that's when the data that's being used to program AI, that's the space where it is. And then it provides you with the response, and that's the output layer of what you get when you're using a different, the different AI systems. So like when I see that, the way I explain it is there's 3 different layers or learning types there, like supervised learning, where it learns from examples, like giving students an answer is key to practice, right? And you can see that in email spam filters or image recognition or predicting student performance. Also, there's unsupervised, where it identifies unlabeled patterns, like student reflections or themes, or grouping students based on engagement without any labels. And then also there's this deep learning, like using neural networks with multiple layers to analyze complex patterns, kind of like voice assistants, like Dr. Rosas was talking about, like having that assistant, or even like facial recognition when you might be going through the airport to travel, or even transcribing students' voices. So like that's the first dimension. The second dimension is about the capability, like the scope of the intelligence. And that's where the landscape is always evolving, because there's so much more information that's coming into the spaces, and it's more designed for specific tasks like Chat GPT, or if you're using like GPS, like Google Maps or Waze, or even a chat box. The third one is the functionality, like how the AI systems behave, right? Are they responding to immediate input? Kind of like when you play games that was mentioned, right? If you're playing a game on a computer and it's responding back and forth, like if you were to play like chess, right? That's using AI. It's reacting to what you're doing. And then also there's limited memory. And this touches on what Dr. Nildz was talking about, like self-driving cars, right? So learning from the historical data to improve responses. And then the other two is what I really want to touch on, is because this is where it really impacts educators, right? What is the purpose? Like, why does AI exist? And the AI has been around for a very, very long time, but more recently is the generative AI. Like in the past, I would say 2 years, generative AI has been front and center, right? And that's creating new content from patterns, from existing data, similar to like what Chat GPT uses, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, and then helping you like design lessons. Like if you want to put together like a slideshow, like things like Gamma. Those are some of the things that I have seen, or even assisted like AI to support with human tasks, like Google Docs when it suggests phrasing, or like, Grammarly when it corrects your grammar, or even texting on your phone when it does the autocorrect.
Mhm.
And then the last one I want to touch on is the technology. Like, what are the systems behind AI? Like the idea of, and I know this is a question we're going to get to later, like what is machine learning and deep learning? And like just briefly touch on it, like machine learning finding patterns in data, similar to like when you watch TV, like when Netflix gives you recommendations, something like that, or even deep learning where it's a specific type of machine learning using neural networks. And that's like the idea of, self-driving cars and facial recognition. So those are the different ways that, the different types of AI that are out there. And those are how I'm putting them into dimensions.
I got a quick question, Dr. Al.
Yeah.
Saying all of this dimension, I'm thinking about on the emotional side. So can I know this is just a quick question, but just like we are trying to discuss this, do you think AI can recognize or respond to emotion in a meaningful way that for teachers or students? Just your thought, please.
That's a really good question. I think we can prompt AI to ask about emotions, but we need to be very careful as educators that is the first and foundational step. And then as teachers, we're making the final decision about how we're going to use that information AI is giving us. So we might prompt AI asking about like, what are these different type of motions that may be elicited through, either a lesson, or if we had questions about like student behavior. But ultimately, we have to say, I'm the teacher, I'm going to make the decisions, and I'm using AI as a tool to help me make these decisions, not AI is making the decision for me. That's a very good question.
Exactly. That was a really good thought, Dr. Rabanera. Now, when we talk of the use of actually, teachers have been using all of this. It is just that it is not put in a perspective wherein it will be beneficial on the part of the kids through instructional things. We use it on a personal basis, but not really on how to develop and enhance students' skills, right? So I think we are going to have a lot of training, particularly our teachers, on how to use these resources so we could become an effective instrument of knowledge and transformation for our students too.
Yes.
Dr. Neil?
Yes. I think it's time for us to have a break, but prior to that, and before we go to introduce again our next guest, who will be, we're gonna ask her some question. Let me read one of our, I will say, viewers in the Facebook. It
Do
says,
we have it?
"Hello, can you hear me?" Yes. Can we? Okay. This is from Mildred Danao Molito. Says, "Thank you, Dr. Rabanera. Very informative." Okay.
Wow. Thank you,
Yes.
Mildred, also.
Yes. And these are the people that's watching. Thank you so much. Everybody was saying thank you for those informative AI, and thank you. So, do you want to say anything else, Ma'am Cora?
I just want to see if we still have comments from our viewers. Guys, we're inviting you to write down your comments there so we could see it. This is from Mildred also. I totally agree. Students use AI a lot and just agree on everything it gives. Our role is to have the final say. We can use the input and explore it with our students. We can use it for critical thinking and involve our students on analyzing the input they have gathered. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Mildred. I think she's coming from the woodlands.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Mildred. Yep. So, anything else that we would like to do?
Maybe we could pause for now.
Yes.
It's already 9:38. Wow, time flies so fast, and we still have
Yeah.
questions to answers. We're
And
coming
before,
back. Yeah.
yes, and before that, again, we thank our sponsor, Kapihan, of course. And of course, they don't have only cafe or coffee; they also have the chocolate, which they will serve during the boot camp. And then, of course, we would like to thank our dear sponsor, Salad Master of Brian and Flor Cheatham of the Rio Grande Valley. Thank you so much.
Thank you. These are all our Filipino business owners here in United States.
So watch out, Miss Yarida will come in as we are posing first for our advertisement. Thank you.
Join us for a captivating new series where Lon sits down with the trailblazers of the music and entertainment world. Discover the stories behind the faces and voices that shape our culture and community.
We will bring you exclusive interviews with industry legends and rising stars. Behind the scenes insights and get a peek into the creative processes and personal journeys. Artists and performers and their upcoming shows and events.
Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel.
Hello, we're back. Thank you so much. Well, we had a very good discussion with Dr. Rabanera. All of those are very important, especially, trying to make sure that we differentiate the types of AI. And after that discussion, I'd like to ask our next panel of guests, Ms. Yaridel. What do you think? I know you like going to a research. So what do you think are the main goals of AI in research?
Yeah. So, for the last year, there's been a lot of questions on how can it improve research? What can it do with research? And coming from, the business sector and also with my interpersonal connections, it's been a question of like, what does AI do for people? And from a research perspective, a lot of people have been, at the end of the day, I like to think of it as it depends on the goals of the end user and the person who's doing the research and where their mind is at. And I really like that you pointed out where their emotional state is, because a lot of the times you can use the GPTs or the AI to have a conversation with you, or you can be texting it and just spewing out all of the questions that you have. But overall, the main goals of AI research is really just helping the person be efficient in researching, being able to input all that data and being able to help that person understand the data and maybe even find some patterns and recognize those patterns and able to help the users be understand like by being able to understand the data, you can now be able to, maybe do some predictions on what that data looks like. And not only that, but it also helps the person generate more ideas, more solutions, real time. And the cool thing about one of the things that I love what OpenAI has been doing is helping be more focused, because you can ask it a lot of questions, but when you're really good at doing prompts and asking really good questions, the answers become a lot more focused, and they really help the users become more focused on the things of what they're asking for. And because of that, it also learns about you and your personality and things that you're really searching for. And like for me, as an everyday person that likes to use it on the side, I know it's also kind of impacted me in my research, not only just like in my efforts at work, but also as a mother. I know it's also kind of helped me with my girls on helping them what they need to understand when it comes to their homework, their lesson plans, and when they ask me questions of like, "Mom, why does water turn into ice? How does that happen? Like when it's warm, like why is it like this and ice can't be still?" And I think this is where it kind of enables me as a mother to be able to give them real-time lesson plans, and by talking to ChatGPT and having those real conversation with my daughters to show like, hey, this is let's ask let's ask it this way so that we can both learn together. And I really like the point that Dr. Al talked about, like, using AI as a tool to learn together. And overall, like, I really like, whether it's in academia, whether it's in business or in everyday life, I've seen it really help the everyday user be more efficient in their research, becoming more insightful with the data that they're getting, and overall being able to kind of scale their learning every day.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Dale. That is really insightful. Now, I have a quick question to you. I'm just curious, okay? So, when we have, because you talk about the question that was asked by your daughter. Now, there are some students in my class that really doesn't focus on what to ask. They will just put questions, and you know how you develop your prompt and then the AI will just follow through based on what you've done. How does it impact the critical thinking of the students when they will just put in and ask AI on questions that they are interested to know?
I think this is where the risks of AI actually come into play, is when, like, as one of the things on the side, like for me, it's like as an agile coach, everyone loves the word autonomous, but when you're a new learner, such as a child, sometimes autonomy is sometimes not the greatest because children need guidance. And with my children's generation, like, because they're growing up with screens, like, everything to them is instant. So the critical learning actually does go away because they get what they ask for instantaneously. And as a parent, one of the things that I really have to hone in on is teaching them patience and asking the right questions. And I know for me, it's really teaching them to peer review, is to really review the questions they ask and the data and to be more attentive with their surroundings around them. Just because they ask that one question, is it really the full scope? Is it really the big picture and not just one focus of the picture? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to children, it's about their perception and what's their surroundings and how they're actually feeling that day. Because they can be talking to AI like it's a person, and they can also be inserting their feelings as well. So I know for me, it's like, as a parent, I don't think in my generation now, I don't think there's more supervision that needs to happen now with parents being involved, especially when they have access to tools like AI. And there is going to be a much bigger need for supervision with the parents, and actually with the parents being more involved with making sure that they're asking the right questions, there's the right emotions in place, making sure and understanding, there's reality and there's a difference between what you see on Instagram and social media and versus what you're seeing on the news, and what does the facts say.
There, I want to piggyback on what you said. I did an experiment in my class because I teach art of thinking. One group used ChatGPT, the other group used DeepSeek, the other one used Copilot. I gave them one prompt. Okay, this is where the critical thinking comes in. Lo and behold, each of the students, each group had different responses. Okay. Now, so I asked them, which one do you think is correct? And this is where the teachers come in, right? So with various responses, you know how they hallucinate with all the answers? So the kids would ask, why in the heck would this AI, I thought they're smart. Why is my answer different from you? So it was a great conversation, and they go together and decide which one is the best response based on what they received. And then they went to references. So that's why I mentioned that, because it was a good experiment that, AI is really, like Dr. Rosa said, it is guided by human intelligence. Mm-hmm. You still need to put your hands in there, right? Yep. So, Nildz, you're muted.
So thank you so much, Ma'am Cora. That was a very insightful, experiment that you did, because we need to do that. So in that way, we can find out, how these differences, comes in. And speaking of that, how they differ from one another. Mm-hmm. The next question that we will have is going to be for Dr. Al. But before that, maybe we can pause again for another advertisement. So in that way, we can come back and, have our continuous discussion. And again, we have a Capitayo, which is our sponsor. Again, I hope you won't mind. And Salad Master, care of Flor and Brian Cheatham of the Salad Master Dulce Enterprise. Thank you. And we'll be back shortly. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We're back.
Wow, thank you, thank you. So this is a question for Dr. Al, and this is, another way of asking where all of these things are happening about the AI. So can you please tell us what's the difference between the different learning and deep learning, Dr. Al?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And if I could just touch a little bit on the previous discussion, because I had some insights to add about critical thinking, and it'll be very quick.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. When talking about critical thinking and AI in my classroom, this is what I know, that AI can reduce the friction of learning, but that friction is essential to create deep and meaningful experiences for the students. So I just wanted to put that into our conversational space. But then let me get back to the question. And how is AI different from machine learning and deep learning? I think it's really important that we're able to create these distinctions and clarify for educators. So the way I see AI, it's a broad umbrella, right? It's the idea that machines can simulate human intelligence. And then you think of concentric circles. So this is the big circle. And then moving into the smaller circle, machine learning, it would be a subset of AI that allows systems to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. And then the smaller concentric circle, deep learning, is a further subset of machine learning that uses neural networks to analyze and respond to complex patterns. Well, here's the analogy I would give for teachers, right? AI is like, I teach math, okay? And then machine learning is, I teach algebra and use exit tickets and feedback loops from formative assessments to adjust my instruction. And then deep learning is, my students find patterns in data and are able to transfer their learning to the next units. And then some of the examples would be like students, being able to use AI and engaging in deep learning in the classroom, or maybe even the district using a platform to predict chronic absenteeism using machine learning, or even language apps for multilingual learners, right? But even beyond these definitions, right, we have to teach students to think critically. And I'm really glad, we were having that conversation before. Critically and engage with these AI outputs. So here's some of the things that I have my students think about, right? Like, is the response accurate, right? Does it really answer the question, or is it just predicting the next word and totally goes in a different way and is off topic? Also, what assumptions or biases are in those responses? Like, how are we helping our students detect the bias? Because humans are putting in the data into the AI, and then AI is using that data to produce an output. So like, how do we teach students like, oh, this is a biased response, or how can we help students interrogate those answers? And then also along that same line, like, whose voices or perspectives are missing in those responses that we see in those outputs? Because again, as the educators, we should be using AI as a tool and as a foundation, but ultimately we need to be the ones making the decisions because we know our students best, right? And like the way I talk about AI is like, it's like a calculator, right? How are we using the calculator? What do we want our students to know and be able to do, right? How are we teaching them these skills? And then how are these skills being transferred? Not just having them rely on, this machine, type something in, get their response, and then, right, where does the critical thinking in that piece? Like, and these questions, I think, push beyond this idea of being a consumer of AI, but they move us into the space of like, how are we curating learning experiences? How are we teaching our students to reflect deeply? And how are we empowering them as learners to take what they've learned and use it in their lives?
Excellent. Oh my God. I'm smiling, Dr. Al, because I could wait in the lesson of art of thinking. That is what I really developed, the critical thinking. Students would be able to determine biases and how could they prove their responses using various references. Is the reference biased or not? Whose point of view is this reference showing? I love the way you say that. And with the example, the experiment that I did, tell me, even after school hours, these children were talking about how AI is not really good because they don't tell you the truth. You still have to work harder for you to defend your responses. That was really, really nice. So thank you for that. Niels? Oh, we have Krisha, do we have comments that we could read? Okay, so we have Edna Malik. Is this really positive development? Ooh, how do we raise free independent thinkers? I like that. With all the inputs, AI flooding in the channels of our young learners. Anybody like to respond on that? Anybody?
I
Dr.
can.
Rosas, would you like to share? Or Dr. A? Dale?
Or Yari or Del?
Go ahead, guys.
I guess from a non-academic perspective, as a parent, I think this is where parents really need to step in and really need to provide guidelines, because just like if a child has access to iPad and you give them autonomy, they're going to do whatever they want. They don't care. They ethics goes out the way, morals go out the way, because they're children and all they want to do is have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And when you give them OpenAI, ChatGPT, Gemini on an iPad and they're asking whatever they want, they're going to get whatever they see. And
Yes.
and for me it's like, this is where, parents need to be really aware, and they really
Mhm.
need to partner with their educators, with their teachers, and getting even more involved and being more aware of the things that's going around, especially in the internet, in the media, social media, and really start putting in those parental controls when it comes to
Mhm.
having access to technology. Um, and the only way to, raise free independent thinkers, have them question every single thing they do. Have them
Mhm.
ask why. Why did you get this answer? Why is this answer correct? How does this work? How does this validate? And I think it goes to, to our educators here who are, teachers. It's like, teach them to ask questions, to keep asking why.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Del. Teacher Cora, are you saying something? And just like what we have here in the state of Texas, starting school year this August, they're banning cell phone on the classroom, and that's good. We need to have a limitation. We need, the students also have to know, and the parents that, we might have all this technology in the world, but the thing is, there should be guidelines which should be in place. So in that way, everybody know what are the extent of their independence, because right now we need to develop critical minded students in the classroom or learners. Thank you. Yes, Miss Cora.
Okay, so do we still have another comment?
I think we're good for now. And let's ask
No,
and go ahead with
We
Dr.
have
Rosa.
Nathan. We have Jansen.
Oh, Johnson. Okay.
Okay, we have Dia Soriano. Awesome. Just said that. Okay, so we have the last question. We have a last open-ended question, Dr. Neil.
Okay. All right. Yep. So let's go to the open ended question for all our panelists. So let's finish the sentence. Are we going to have finished the sentence? Okay. If Megan is in front of you, what prompt would you ask? I'm going to say it one more time. If Megan is in front of you, okay, what prompt would you ask? Let's start with Dr. Rosas, please.
Okay, thank you for Dr. Niels. So this is my prompt. Megan, how do you envision reshaping the future of education while keeping the human touch alive in the classroom?
Okay,
Excellent.
that's where the affective will come in, right? I
Yes.
know that's a challenge for Megan. Okay, let's talk about Dr. Al.
Hi, thank you. To add to what Dr. Rosas was saying, like my question would be around like the human touch, personalized learning, and even bringing in the students' lived experiences. So, or so it's Megan. What's something you've always wanted to understand, but no one took the time to ask you about?
That's a
Wow. That's right. We are always asking
fun
about us, but nobody asks and nobody cares about
egg.
Megan. Or guys, Megan is one of our AI
Wow.
person. So maybe some of you are asking, who the heck is
Egg
Megan?
was
But Megan is AI person. Go ahead, Dale.
well.
I for me, I think it would be Megan, what's one practical way I can make learning more meaningful so I can get practical wisdom? At the end of the day, there's, I can learn all I want, but gaining wisdom is a whole different thing.
Right. Thank you. That's really interesting. How I wish somebody would ask about Megan. Well, maybe I would ask Megan, how are you? What's going on? What's the plan today? Maybe I'm gonna ask Megan about that. What about you,
Yeah.
Dr. Nia? What are you gonna ask Megan?
Oh, that's a good question. We, you know, being vain, maybe I can answer. Megan, can you tell me what kind of costume I'm gonna have for the day? No, I'm just
Okay, so guys, we really, really appreciate all of you for your time, for your expertise, for your intelligence, for your skills. Thank you for sharing that to us, but also to all Filipino teachers and all our viewers listening and watching us today. But before we leave, do you have any announcement? Our guest, Dr. Rosas, Dr. Al, Dale, you could say it in probably 30 seconds.
okay.
Go.
Let's start with Dr. Rosas, please.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you po. So a mega love shout out and heartfelt thanks to Dr. Nildz and Ma'am Cora for this privilege of being a guest on your inspiring podcast, The Teacher Talk. It was truly an honor to share my thoughts and experiences with fellow educators. Thank you as well to Lawi Network and Krisha for the opportunity being here as part of your platform, no? And I also want to extend my gratitude to the LSUD administrators, my dedicated co-faculty, and most especially my students, past and present. So also to my former colleagues and friends from various universities. There are too many to mention, but they know who they are. So thank you for being part of my journey. And special mention to Dr. Noreen and Dr. Enrique Perez for
Okay.
your support and encouragement. Syempre, I'm also deeply grateful to my family, my Team Kaisa Global, and my VG family. Thank you for the love, inspiration, and prayers. And above all, to God be the glory.
Yes.
Yes, amen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Dr. Al, tell us about what is going on and what will happen to you.
Just want to say
And
thank you so much for the opportunity to listen, learn, and share about my experience in our community. Thank you, Law Network, Ms. Cora, Dr. Nils. I look forward to continuing to do this work. And if anyone is interested in continuing the conversation, please reach out to the host and then let's connect. Thank you.
thank you,
Awesome.
Dr. Al. Definitely, we will connect. Thank you. Dale?
Just wanted to say thank you, everyone. I've actually learned quite a bit today, and it's always so good, so great to hear that, there are educators that are really being thoughtful about the students and how it's going to impact the students of this next generation, because there's so many distractions now. It's
That's
crazy.
That's
So super grateful to be here and to be part of this, and also coming from a perspective as a parent as well, that even myself, I need to be really aware and be even more involved, because technology is getting in the way of parenting as well. And I'm really glad that you guys are bringing this up, because it's something that really needs to have awareness, especially with education and children.
Yes, awesome. And I'd like to thank your mom, Yari Del, Lisa Del, thank you for, connecting me with Lisa Del, my student. And of course, we're also proud of all of you being a Filipino. And at the same time, we are here in the United States or the Philippines. We're all work together as a team. We collaborate, we partner. And this is one way to show the world that as an educator, we're working for excellent and quality education. Yes, Ma'am
That's right.
Cora.
Okay, we have announcements before you all go. We have announcement. We are inviting cultural exchange teachers who just arrived. We have our batch 4, Welcome to America, J1 teachers, Teaching Without Borders, a welcome journey for Filipino J1 educators on July 19th from 8 to 4 p.m. at the Mabini Hall of the Philippine Consulate. The address is right there. Go ahead. We are sending pre-registration link. Please do that so we could arrange logistics for all of you. Another announcement is if you are a Philippine Normal University, Philippine Normal School, Philippine Normal College alumni, we are announcing our reunion next year, July 27th in New York. So we will give you more details on this. We are just giving you a heads up so you could plan your activities for next year. All Filipino, not even Filipino, even foreigners who graduated from PNU, you come and join us in this Philippine Normal University Global Alumni Association project. Thank you and see you there. We
That's
all Neil.
awesome. Yes, and before we end up again, let me thank our sponsor, Dulce, Floor, and Brian Chitam, and RGV, our Kapehan, MJ Osmania. They are very, I will say, generous and very accommodating sponsors that we have, and we will see them for the boot camp on August the 9th. Maybe next time we will able to feature that for our other organization. So thank you. I'd like to thank my family in the Brownsville with Mommy D and all the golden ladies that keeps watching us, follow us. So we would like to ask you to like and follow Lawi Network so you'll be able to watch us live, and if you can also watch us recorded. So after this, Dr. Al, Dr. Rosas, and Del, you can watch it, our recorded one, and we will send it to you. So once again, thank you for my family in the Philippines watching, Dr. Noreen, thank you so much, and Dr. Enrique. And the rest, Paulo, Dominic, and all the grandkids, thank you so much, and my families. Bye-bye.
And last thing, Dr. Neil, we have a part 2 of this on July 29. Is it 29? We are
Yes.
going to have a part 2 of this, the same title, but this time we are inviting teachers. We're going to ask them, are you ready? Kaya mo na ba to apply AI in the classroom? So all the things we learned from our guests today, Dr. Rosas, Dr. Al, and Del, you are going to apply it next session. So come again next time. We will be happy to see you in our next episode. Thank you. Have a great day, guys, and God bless.
Thank you, and God bless everyone.